Welcome, welcome for this transmission. When I put my finger in my mouth and you put your thumb deep enough into your ear, I mean, you've licked ass before, right? So don't try and give me any of this bull crap. You understand? You can call me crazy, stupid, or whatever it is, but this shit seems to work. I feel it and I feel the vibration vibrating inside my heart. The last time I did it, my video uploaded. I just found something so incredible. In fact, I've been sitting here for the last 36 hours, well, not nonstop, but poking at and finding stuff. I just found out that my relativity sign of 24 hours a day, and I said it's going to be 16 hours a day. Well, I found out why. And then I found out why man is six of the eight heaven. Now, I'm hoping to be able to explain it to you. And this has been going on for hours now. Decoding the piano, there's certain keys, A, B, C, jump D. Now, are you jumping D? Or you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You understand? Every time you hit D, you stop. But it's not the D that you think. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, blank, D, A, B, C. But instead of being at A, B, C now, you're at, that's the reason, oh my God, it doesn't stop. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. We get down to D, the fourth one, and now we start all over again. A, B, C. We come down to 4, and then that's number 4, 5, and 6. Then we go D, and then we go A, B, C, because it's the one cycle. You don't want to use all the numbers up, and you're going up and up and up and up. And no, explain your own house. Do what you could in your own backyard. You got 99 numbers inside a cube 6 ways. I don't know. What is there, 594 or something? Oh my God. This is so fantastic. I'm just pray to God this does not go away. This is insane. And I haven't told you anything yet, so maybe I'll be just a complete fool. Just give me a little bit more time. So you have A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the third A is 7, 8, 9, and then you get D again, and that would be the 10th. The first D was the 4th, the last D was the 10th. You understand? 10, 4, good buddy, creation. This is the piano code I broke. I'm also doing a code of 6, 1, and 3, where there's 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216, in which 16 hours a day is the only day you have. But because I don't have enough arms to do all my calculations, right now what I work is 16 hours a day you are awake and 8 hours you are asleep. Therefore, you're only partaking in 16 hours of the day. By 6 days a week is 96, because there is no 7 days a week. The only thing they did with this is they put one, and then they put the linears of each. They put a piece of each. So this would be 360 degrees if you go around it by 4, or by 90, 360. There's more to it. So I got D, 10. So this video, the video I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be talking, I'm going to be energetic, I'm going to be talking to myself most of the time. I know you're not there, but I need to know that, oh my God, when it comes time to do the video, I'm all screwed up. So you might see me just picking up my pen as the element of spirit comes into the world. But the second dimension has turned around and is sicking the cat on the dog. They have created their own chromosomes in the air, and their chromosomes are fighting the other chromosomes, and the scratch that's in your head that's not in your pocket, the birds aren't talking a good phoenix story, in which watch out for Baffin Islands up in Quebec for hydroelectricity, waterfalls and waterworks. I've got a story about waterfall and waterworks. There's a story for everything. There's a number and a sound. There might be something missing or it won't join. So I join it by putting it hand in hand. Then I take one from the left and one from the right, come back to the center, and I'm perfectly in half. I can go all around and create what I want. I've got the circle of my own life. Even the circle of your own life. God goes 1, 2, 3. He goes inside the circle. He says, if my life was good enough like this, he says, I'll make the core the same size. So he just dug a hole. And then he went on to the other side. And then he put a donut on top of that hole. Because without that donut, there is no hole. There was a hole in the donut, something to go through the water, the rapids to come down, the fish to come out, the little eggs in the sky that float around, that bring you, you're breathing in air, but don't you know what the air does to you? It fucks you. They get into your cells. They drive into your blood. They're having sex with you all the time. So now I was talking about A, B, C, D. Now we're going to go A, B, C, and then we're going to go D again. This time it's going to be D14. Then we're going to do A, B, C. Then we're going to go D again. It was going to be, this was going to be 11, 12, 13, and A, B, C would be 15, 16, 17. Now don't forget, I did not use the telephone and put my letters there. And if I put my letters there, I will not start on the number 1, because they started on the number 1. They started on the number 1 by putting an exclamation point. What are you going to do here? They put the Q into Z. QZ, 88, 17, 26. The dog pounded the queen. The dog pound on one end, the queen on the other end. Missed out what I was thinking. Number 17, number 18, back to D again. A, B, C, 19, 20, 21. 19, 20, 21. 19, 20, 21. Wow. Wow. We're already down by the 7th C. You see, there's 3 and 3 worlds. And then there's a hole for the passage, which is the mug and dub, the big hexagon that goes there. That's the passage hole because it's long. It's like the Suez Canal. Every time I talk and I try to explain it. So we go to 21. I'm sorry. I have to be able to stick to it. Look what I do to myself. So they have these things in the air. The chromosomes are fighting each other, and I don't know exactly what's changing. I told you about Baffin Islands, all the stuff up there, and then there's other places in the States. It's all over. This is more real than you think. But let me go back to piano. 21, then we got D22, and I'm going to move up to here. I got A, B, C, 23, 24, 25. Then I got 26D, and that's the dog pound, and it starts with D. Then we got the 27th key, the 28th key, 29th key. This one here is A, B, C. A, B, C, 27, 28, 29. Isn't that funny? INR, angel resident. 3 by 3 by 3 is an A. Then you have time heaven for the electronics. And then you have the passage, number C, to come on down. Because it is actually C. You have 1 circle, you have 2 circles, you have 8. The minute you do this to the circle, these are all your passages. Okay? Nothing comes in over here. Okay? It only comes in through the gate. This is the gate. You close the gate. Now it goes 1, 2, 3 passages. Creation is 3. There's your 3. There you got your 1. This is the hole. This is the main hole to find it. Where is it? You know, the minute you hit it with this finger, you're in between. 29, 28 and 29 is Ison. You come to C, you're back to D, number 27D, number 30D, and that's D for creation. And that's also 430D, which is April 30th, which is the number of creation, and the same day as Valentine's Day, as Halloween. So now we're going to go to 31, 32, 33. You know, sometimes you go to the movies and you're not too thrilled with it. And, well, that's what this is all about. Because that's all I'm going to just keep going. And somebody wants to go, they go in. You check out whatever I did at your own pace, at your own time. Because I'm going to try to be precise, more precise with this. Before I was afraid of the time. But I have to let you be aware of the time. Because if I'm aware of everybody else's time, I'll have no time to do anything at all. And the second thing is, when this goes into the passage, give me a high 5. Every time you give a high 5, the 2 wings touch. But you're not giving a high 5, it's the other one, so it's 4 and 4. 4, 4, 44. 44 is the word for space. "44 is the word for space. You go from here to here, and then from here to here. Here you got 1, 2, 3. Here you got 1, 2, 3. You got your 6. This is your cube. but your cube is in a circle. It only takes 5 fingers, and it's your center C that goes in the middle of everything because it's hands first or feet first. There's a game with it I have to play in my mind so the numbers jog together, and then they see this, and oh, I bumped into this, signs everywhere, signs. Isn't that the way it works? Oh, look, I see a sign. Are you hungry? I'm hungry for the information highway to continue on to make the passage of the byway of the trilateral system in which passes through me because you're on my channel. So now what we're going to do, we have 33C on piano. Look at this. Creation comes in of the 31st day, backdoor number 32. This 32 is how the hours of the day work. And I'm going to explain to you there's many ways to do it. And then C33. C33. 333. So now we're going to go on. You total this, it becomes 96. If you total this, it becomes 57, 67, 77, 84. This is space. I was just thinking about this number before, because how do you say 84? Q, 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 Q. You know what I'm going to tell you about QQ? It's 17 and 17. It's the first beginning of 1 and 7, the way everything began. Now they're duplicating it. But it's 1 and 7, I think, on the second side. Do you understand the 1 and 7 when we started piano? 1 and 7, 2 and 7, 3 and 7, 4 and 7, 5 and 7, 6 and 7. Change the dice. We're at the crap table. Then we have the number of whatever it is, 20 whatever. And then we go 20 and 1, 20 and 2, 20 and 3, or we'll go 20 and 3 because we roll the dice, we get a 3. We have to do all the dice. 20 and 3, 20 and 1, 20 and 2, 20 and 3. And then we take the fourth dice and we write that. So now we're at number 56. What number are we at here with that explanation I was telling you? How is everybody? I want to ask you a question. You tell me this doesn't look like a satellite antenna or the ribs. When you get one circle, you put 5. So the center of everything is 3. The I is in the 3. 3, C, C and 1, 13 for God, C, E, and in between is the I, which would be 2, or 20 because it's in the center in the 0 world. It gets a 2, but it's in the 0, so it looks like 20. That's the 20th letter T. 3 is C. 1 is A. It spells cat. And that's how you get the number for a cat. And the reason for every single number is always going to create something because it was made that way. So we can have fun when we came here. Mommy, Mommy, look what I found. I saw a tree. It was next to me. But, Mommy, wait a second. The tree's talking to me, Mommy. It's almost like that, but it's not. It's just like you study something and all of a sudden the intuition is twice as fast. It's like when I'm looking for an answer in my own head and I'm getting it. And I stop myself. Don't make a mistake. Don't go fast. So you won't remember. So you'll stop. So you'll look a little stupid. On Earth, you look stupid. But when you're a cell, you're always good. You're always online. They always hear you. They always know. Whatever words and information comes out, it doesn't matter. The cell has transferred all the information. You know what that is? That's the fleur-de-lis. Holding the balls. They're holding balls. Did you know I saw a place online? I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. And the name of the place was Meow. Something that's happening now. They showed a train crash in the thing, and it's something happening now. And then right after that, I see a commercial that says November 22nd to December 8th. Please help the children. I knew, and I know that date of December 8th. I know that date so well. Do I know that date so well? That was a date, one of the scariest 60 seconds of my life watching the football game of Tampa Bay. I think it was Tampa Bay and Minnesota. Minnesota has the wing on. They are the Purple Royal. Tampa Bay, what do they have? That was the game that played. and a big accident happened right that next morning. The dam broke. You see, what happens now is because the 16th of November is 16 and 9 away is 27. That's the birth on the 27. You have to wait 8. I'm in my last month. That means there's 0 months to go. It's 20 days. It's 19. You're on the countdown. And on the countdown, there was a big splash. And the tallest of all babies and the tallest of all in my family, the tallest, the tallest, standing the height of a dog, strong as a soldier, witty and young. My son was born on that day, and I choked. I went out to watch a football game, and I choked right in the middle of my sternum. It seemed like somebody was trying to take my life away. I was all over the floor. My son was born 23 inches long, the number of creation. Is it 23 inches? Probably wrong. It was 21 inches. He weighed 9 pounds, whatever. All his numbers telling me the same thing I read. The coming of man. Now, if this is true, obviously, I have to go see him, and obviously, he's not going to take me seriously. He's going to think I'm nuts if I say, hey, you're the coming of man. But he is becoming a man, because he's busting out and busting loose. He doesn't have any of the what's it calls on him, because at the minute you hit the age of 22 in creation, you become the age of Jack. You get jacked up. You get your hook on the left side and a hook on the right side, and you jack yourself up. And this is what happens to you in the rest of life when you become a blackjack. There's one eye on one side, your father holding from below. 12 are the dice. Here's the other one, your mother from below. You really don't know much about her face because they're your parents. But you know what? It's just that over a period of time that now it's the eye in the sky with the element. You know that chicken foot? That chicken foot that's stuck upside down in your head and it picks up all the energies on top. Now, I'm not sure which spirit, which this, if they all work together, but this is what's happened now. Burning under the gray fire. Holding one eye and another eye. So if you're actually going hip, stop, and jump, well, you're just jumping right over. What I showed you over here, this is going to be the piano. I'm going to try to do all the keys, 52 and 30, 52 and 36. But what's funny about 52 is the minute you get the 50th one, you automatically have to go to the 58th. Because you're in 8 heaven and you have 50. 50, you have to stop at the hole. You automatically get 8. You have to go all the way to Neptune. Wow. I didn't even know that before. The 50, you jump to Neptune. And what it means to jump to Neptune is you're going down. So if that's line of keys and matrix all the way down, you're following the same line of keys. And after you hit 50, you get 51 and 52. Because 50 is the whole. Once you get 52 at the end, well, when you go down to Neptune at 8, you're reconnected at 2, 5, and 8. Look at 2, 5, and 8 on your telephone. It's dead center going up and down. And there's more ways to play it to bring you all the way around and all the way back to make you a little cuckoo. Little cuckoo. Little cuckoo bird must have told me that. Hold on. Cuckoo. Is Cuckoo here? Oh, it must be me. And I'm thankful because it makes a scratch. And then it's a vibration and a feeling and something's inside. And ooh, it feels good like a long-necked goose stretching out for everything. With a big nose. Thank God, gave me a nose, flattened it out a little bit, rounded out the edges, and then told me to wear these glasses. To see the ladies' asses. You know what it means by the ladies' asses? I don't know either. But it's definitely not a real ass, but some kind of other asking of something of sorts. But it is going to be something because we get A35. The only time we get A35, all that thought, like that ace, that Y2K maybe now, take away the ace from the game. No more aces. Do you know why? Do you know what the aces did? I just thought of it. I just thought of what the aces did. Okay, just hold on a second. 1, 2, 3. I'm losing my trend of thought. But what happens is the ace, that star key, I think that's danger. No, maybe not. See this star key? You see it ends up making the eye, the top of the eye in all directions. It makes a wheel. It makes a wheel because this ace joins this world with this world. This ace is not our real ace. We need the heart and the one world here. When you see the 7 card, that's our world. That's our gateway. The other 2 we have is for the other world to go. It's the 2 and the 5. It's the 7 card. It's from the beta world. We're not talking about the interior world, 1 to 7, 2 to 7, 3 to 6, 4 to 6. Give me a second. I mean, there's so many interesting things. Even this design here. Those are aces on top of each other. If you need 4 circles, well, flip 2 aces on top of each other. Maybe put the letter of Y. If you only draw the letter of Y over each other, this is how I learned. Now we're going to take the Y, the Mercedes Y, because you need 120 degrees. You know why you need 120 degrees? Because 30, you need 30 and 40, because that's what you work with. You work with a box, and you work with a shovel, and you work with a triangle, and you got Mars, and you take Mars with you. Ma, where are we going today? To the bitch. Wow. Can we put some sand in the bitch? Yeah, you could, if you put your mind to it. Oh, yeah, thinking from 3 sides? I think I will, my mother, and thanks. Tell Daddy everything is okay. Well, Daddy's in the back of your mind, and he always was. You'll never forget your father, because your father is you, who brought you back to you. There's more than one you. You're your father when you're reborn, when they take you and they cleanse you in the matrix system. You become the Father, the Mother, and the Holy Ghost. But you're not the creator of the system. You're just an angel. 3 and 4 is Mars. When you take 30 and 40, it's because we took Mars, we shoved them in the hole. In the hole. You know what I like? Soldier Field. Think about it. Soldier Field. Throwing the ball between the money. At the ballpark, they're singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game with Carrie. Well, carry on, carry on. Soldier Field. The soul is dur. In French, it's hard. It means the soul is very hard. D'hier, it means of yesterday. So d'hier, the solder, the final price, or the solder that welded man's last string, so he can become puppets on a string. So we end up being these puppets on a string at the same time the tail that is at the end of the horse, where the man sits in the sulky and the tail is in his front. He is controlling the strings. Strings and things, of course. We can play all kinds of instruments and find out what we could and can't do. Because it's between the good and the can't do that we know what the answer is, because it's in between. If we were looking outside, sometimes we wouldn't find it. But we know what we're looking for every time you look out. You know what you want, or you'd stay inside and you wouldn't look out at all. You look in and you look beyond, between your eyes, and you know. You watch what you say to make sure, because if you want help of others, you cannot slow them down too often before they never want to come back. Everybody wants a little bit to say. So we're gonna do this one over here. This one's a Mercedes sign, and when I do the Mercedes sign, I end up with, see the hair over here? The mouth is open. See, you can create animals out of anything. The only reason you get 30 is because it doesn't look like this. You want to know how this looks, the 30? It looks like this. These are the worlds. This is the Torah. It says go around from here to here. Cross over the seas. Go around from here to here to end your journey. Okay, you show me the only places are the quarter moon here and the quarter moon on the outside, but you didn't divide the house. You left the division for the house for the outside division instead of for the inside division. Um, so we talked about time, right? Should I get back to time? I'm going to jump off the piano. No, let's finish. Did we finish the piano yet? You're not tired already. Are you tired? Well, just press pause. Let me out of your thoughts for the minutes you have gone away from your computer 2525. And when you come back, I'll finish with this answer that started 10 minutes ago. This is the letter I and H. It is the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Touchdown. And all 10 yards count in here because the whole team can come in here and kiss your butt, right? That's why we do all our tricks. So now that we know the size of a square part, whatever the size is over here, I want to know the size of the whole field measured. It's either 1.5 times or 2 times it's going to give me. Anyways, when we have all these marks, 5 times it marks all the way across the field 10, and 10 times 50, or the 50th, is the circle and the passage we go in. You know when you go down to a level, to a level, to a level, to a level, and because, see, although we're like 9 planets and 10 fingers, we're 5 on the left and 5 on the right, and 5 is all the way down already, and the other 5 is when you get down. So 5 is when you get to the funnel. So you go to Mercury, then you go to Venus, and you go to Earth, then you go to Mars, and then you go to Jupiter. Let's go down. And then Jupiter says, okay, stop here. What would you like for a face? Oh, I see that man in the back. He's really humping her. 9 months later, you come back. And how come I'm not there yet? Well, your body is not ready for you. Maybe in about 3 more years or 4 more years, you can watch what they've been doing with you as a youngster. And when you get older, you'll take part in being who you are because you saw from heaven your first 4 years of life. Before the 2 and the 4 front teeth fell out, you had to come back down for the 24 hours of the teeth of the ivory for man, the ivory man, white man. White man because he is a ghost, not because of his skin color. The skin color of brown is by the earth. The ghost as well, I don't know how the holes work in ghosts. So this is the H and I. It's the 10 and the 5-yard markings because it's either 5 or 10 or 5 and 10 because they took away our penny. They wanted to show us right now. They think they knew why they took away a penny, but they took it away because it's at the end zone. Zone, Z-O-N-E. Zone, 0, 1. Zone, 0, 1 between this side and this side and this side and this side. See me how you get 11? You got a line here and a line here, you get 11. You got a line here and a line here, you got 11. You got a box, you got 11, 11. Thank God. You got a box. Because when you're not getting 11, 11, and you're sort of getting 9, 11, your box, actually it's a little bit less than that. I think it's 4, 11. Anyways, whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. But that box is a coffin. And now you come to life. I got to go to sleep, and that's the end of life. But we'll live it again and again. Your choice. So this are the ribs of a fish. It's half the field. So then if you have the whole field, you have 10 marks of 10. If you have 10 marks at 10, and 10 has a 0, you'll get 16 all the way down. That'll be making 16, would be 1 and 6 is 7. You'd end up making 13, and it would turn into 44 for the whole field. That's the term we're in right now for the presidency. Then we have 5 times the Holy Ghost. The 5. The 5 ain't got nothing marked. A lot of hash marks. Hey-ya! Like the Indian passed through the hole. Hey, are we going to the Alamo? Hey-ya! The 5 hole has been passed through so many times it looks like he's hashed it up. And you got 3 of them. You got 3 choices. Is it 3 or 4 in football? To have a choice of 1 and hash marks. Hey, creation is 3. Passing through the 50. But hold on a second. Are you taking the 50 at the exit? And you're going that way. You take the 50 at the other side, you're going that way. Can you go back up? What are the directions? It's very simple. When you want to come into a world of peace, these are the directions you choose. And then Hold on a second. Did you leave me yet? Don't leave me so soon. I gotta keep it a little entertaining, no? And if I stop thinking, then maybe my whatever will go down. But let me see. How come I can't see my screen? This. Fleur de lis. Jack's got a pyramid. He's got 2, 6, 9 legs to stand on. Is that what a rover looks like? What is it? What does this look like in space? He's got a mouth on this end, a mouth on this end. But wait a second. This is not fair. This is not fair. We got to help him out a little bit. I mean, now that you left, when you came here, you were 2, don't forget. Noah took 2 on his ark, did he not? You were 2 and 2. Just because everything got messed up because of the system, you're still with your other buddy, your soul spirit. He's all spirit and no soul, but the only soul he knows is what he's learned through you, how you thought, because he is perfect. He knows everything, but I mean, when you coerce him and say, hey, let's do this, he's going to say, uh, oh yeah, I've been in Matrix before. They don't, they don't die, these sprites. You know what I'm saying? But the sprite doesn't come out of the game. I saw it in Reboot. You know what happens to the sprite? You go into the game, you go into the same world. We leave the game. We both leave the game to another place together. The sprite remembers you, knows you, and knows everything you're thinking, because every time you have to think, it's through them you pass. So now we got the pyramid drawn up over here. I was thinking of I wonder what happens when I have like a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know where it is. I like had 1,000 pens here before. Could have been royal. Could have been royal. La 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 la. La 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 la. Hey, I dropped the cup on the floor. Okay, where are we? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think they look a lot better like that, eh? Now, which way do you want to go? Now, all we have to do is either A, right? Marijuana, 420. Do you know why this is 420? Because this is the 4 corners of the 20-20-20 world, which is 80. And this is the head you no longer need. So we drop it and we continue on with our pyramid life in peace. Do you know what it is? 80, 80 in French. Okay, says 80. But when you say 80, it already means the 8 means I am in the 2, the 2 and the 2 and the 2 worlds. Why? Because 2, 4, 6, 8 are not 2, 4, 6, 8. They're 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. When you multiply 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4 by 2 is 8. 2, 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. 3 and 3, 3 and 3 becomes 4 and 4. That's why it's done that way. It's not me. It's always going to be the dice. It's always going to be the monopoly. It's always going to be the monopoly for sure. And I just found another one. There's a prayer to the heavens that mentions something about oats. So I know right away the horse is in the race. 100% the horse is in the race. They're all over the place, and they're the horsepower since the beginning of time. And the cat, you can't leave out the cat because they got caterpillars. Caterpillars. See the color of the caterpillar? It's got the black ball all over that rusty looking thing, the 15 ball. It's like they're trying to catapult you. The butterfly that turns into a caterpillar. This thyroid gland that's here, that when it stops working, it makes everybody sick. But it's a roid and annoyed, and I'm annoyed. We have pieces and parts on us that we shouldn't have. They weren't going to inject us with anything. They don't have to. Unless it's the actual primary world, the world that controls our body to make sure our bodies are perfect. Because both sides want us perfect. So then they can use us. But if we're not usable, then what's the difference? You follow me? 4 worlds. Us and us on the other side, okay? And the world that corrects your body, and then the world who tampers with the spirit, and then the world who gives you the spirit and the soul of the earth. So it's not just 1 against 2. And now that's one of the reasons it's 6 eggs. Everybody has to get an element. The 7, 8, and 9 eggs are not anything. That's why piano stops at 7. Because the 7 is only a door. The 8 is only a place. The 9 is something that happened to you before you who you are. You were just born, but you're still the same thing. How do you call born? That's why you're 6 and 9 all the time. But you come into the doghouse, they place you at 7 and 8. 7 and 8 shows you're in 3 worlds at the same time. That means, of course, you're mixed up. When they divided you from one world, they divided both your worlds, okay, your other world, and they made their center world 3. And either it's in Hoover Dam, and it's in Baffin Islands, and there's something about this system, about a satellite system. You know those ones that like this? Well, those guys, if you take a look, it looks like beaver dams. The beaver dam is just above the water. When you hold up a coin above the water, you have to go around. You have to hop over this. So the beaver coin. Yes, the dam, the beaver coin, the dams. Yes, the beaver coins, and then it's 5 cents, and the 5 cents is a circle. 1 circle is 5 cents. Put your hand down, and I'll design your circle of your hands. You can stay at the points. You can go to the center of your hand, right? Because it comes to the end. So that the beaver cage shows you the top of the water and not the under the water, because you always see, when you see a beaver, they're always in construction and always under the gun. They're at work. Write down wherever you want to tell a tale. And where's the best way to take a long ladder down? H, and I. Don't you know about H and I? They're buddies. They're the same. You imagine H and I. They're 2 in 1. He's an H and he's an I. He's in H and he's the I. He carries the H with him whichever way he goes. He has no choice. If anybody connects to him as an H chromosome maybe, if anybody connects to him, he gets to come down into creation and break up into 3. He gets to have a body, his own mind, a spirit who's talking to him, and somebody trying to fix his body, and then somebody trying to manipulate him. That way, if nobody was going to manipulate you, you can have everything in the world, because you'd be manipulating everybody. I have one with Zimbabwe on it. Not good. double B, there's certain words that we have to say double about. When you see an O, it has to say double O. Why? Because it's 007 through the 7th gate comes into the 8 heaven. So you have the double O. The minute you have the double O, it's an 8. But when you have the 8, that means it's 2 circles here and 1 circle here. You see, you have 1 circle here and you have one circle here. Now Uranus, if you ever looked at Uranus, okay, it's just like this. And I'm going to try and do what I could. Okay, and all of a sudden, the seventh gate, opening up 1, 2, 3 areas. See how easy that was? You always have to find the easiest way to do all your numbers, because it's from the easiest way was the first way that it ever was when it all began. The minute something was created, you know its first way from what you see. And if you want to go backwards to what you think it did, you can go backwards to the elements and the games and the rules that were inflicted, and everything that is in weights and measures and sizes and ways people do their geometrical, I don't know. I didn't pass school. I didn't pass school because I didn't go out today. You know what I'm saying? I figure I'll bring school home with me. Hey, school, it's all school. It's whole school. It's the only school you'll get where I'll tell you a story, and it's up to you. I'll give you the definition, but it's up to you to check out whether there's a reality and a possibility that what I'm saying even exists. But I must come out here and do this, and I'm going to take pictures with my cameras, and I'm going to put all my stuff online. And if anybody's interested, I'm going to share with everybody all over the world, whoever wants to get involved. And the only reason I'm talking this way is because this is a commercial break. Now back to reality. You never know. When you're looking for peace, are we doing anything wrong? The search of peace means to be able to put things back together for a better understanding, for a more fit future. Get cracking. I've heard that 2 times yesterday, and every time, what was it? Oh, I don't know, but it's going to come out today, something about eggs and cracking eggs, but it came out in a terminology. So now you see what happens to the 7, right? And then if you have the 8 card, what you do is now it's upside down because you got 2 zeros on top of each other. Now you got the hands of time, the hourglass, your X-Man, 10,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000 years. You understand what I'm saying? The X is worth 10,000 years. 5,000 here and 5,000 here. And 1,000 years, okay, for here. Here's the M. You see the M letter? 5,775. 225, 225, 225, 225, 225, 500, 775, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. You have now taken 2 worlds of 5 fingers, and you measured from the center of your 3rd finger, 3, 1, 1, 3. Which is the measurement and distance that you'll have, and we'll talk about that later. Now what you did is, like I told you, this equals 10,000 alone, because it has the underline and the underline. 10,000 in 2 worlds. That's the way we're going to do it. I don't want to use this yet. This is our own world split up. Okay? So what you have is you have 10,000. We split up. We got 5,000. Now we need 225. 15 times 15 is 225. 15, 15. A circle is worth 15. 5 times 3 is 15. Circle divided by 5. Circle 15 divided by 5 equals to 3. And guess what? We now created the turtle and the year 2015 because it's from here. So 15 is in the center over here. 15 times 15, because there's 2 balls, is 225. So I marked 225. Then I marked 225 for 2 lives that I live out of 3. 225, 225, 225, 5,775. Add up 5,775 again. Eventually, you're going to get to every single number I spoke about. Do you see how this works? 5,000. Here's the turtle. Here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And his tail. His tail shows 1, 2. So you have 5 and 1. Or you have, hold on, you have You have 4 and 1 and 1 5 and whatever you get for the tail. So anyways, you see this, how it worked? 0 and 0, 007. When you scratch this first one like this, if you go to the playing cards, okay, when you take a look at the 7 has a house up here. The 9 has a dot in the center, ace. That's the heart of life. You cannot, I'm not going to say whether you can have it or not. It's just, anyways, there's another replica to go. So we have 2 down here. As you noticed, the first X came up here. If I did this properly and make another X, we'll have in here and I'll have in here. In fact, I would probably have to put 3 of these balls because of the 3 shoots. The 3 shoots, duck shoots. The 3 shoots, duct shoots, water, hydro, duct shoots, audio, duct, quack, quack, audio, Audi cars, and my system going down to the quack, quack of the birds. I don't think we can unscramble that because they added something to it, but it has to do with the birds. Now you have 3, spirit, angel, and man. You didn't have the mix. You want to put the mix? Now we split all 3 of them up. It's a duct. It's a duct. It's a duct. Duct tape. Duct tape. They close up your mouth with duct tape. They take your audio and they shove it. Duct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 15 is 90. Plus 15 equals 105. 80. That's what it means. 80. I can start explaining that, and I started to explain 80 before. What 80 does in the French language, okay, inside its own words, 80, 80. Let's go 80 because 8 is 2, 4, 6, 8. So now to the 0, we're going to put another 8 because it's expressing itself. So if you put an 8 there, the other opposition of it will also stay with the same duplicated number, and most likely it'll be 5 and 5. It has to, because 5 and 5 is it's 8, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5. That's the way the matrix works. 13. So we have 80. So they say 80 with. So they go Q, V, H. A, ET it says. A means plus and. Anyways, this number over here equals 47. If I multiply it, it shows us a number on the roulette on the Monopoly table, but I don't want to get into that because it's a big explanation. But there is a number, which is 43. Hot and cold water, 4334. Mars and Earth, the only 2 words that have 2 letters the same, one with TH, and they have no U in it, like every other planet, where Uranus has 2, because you turned around to come around. That's where I think we're all from. Something to do with Uranus, and we play with Neptune instead of anybody else, a couple of planets. In fact, I just think the planets are something to do with the number 7. I think we're with the planets of maybe 1, 2, 3. We have the 0, and we own maybe number 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. I think that's what it is. Oh my God, look at it. 1, 2, 3, ABC, the Jackson 5s of the 7th gate of the 70s. Oh my God. That's the Hitler. That's what I saw, that Hitler number also. And 1, 2, 3, 123 times 47, which are the initials of the word 80, which stands for this world that we live. Okay. Hold on a second. Yeah, so the letters that you get are QV, which stands for 17 and 22 to come into life, and then H, it equals 47. 47 times 1, 2, 3 equals 5,781. 5, 7, Comet Lovejoy and Venus. How quaint to come out the Comet Lovejoy and Venus. 5781. But it was 3, we started out before. It was 3 years before it started. So it's definitely going to go 3 years earlier. And Jesus' time is 3 years off. That brings us 6 years closer. To 2019 would be 2014. Why 2014? Because 44, the space we're in right now and the president we're in right now, brings us to 2068. 68 is the depression of man and heaven. It comes from 24. Now, how did we get 24? We got 24 out of 12. 1 and 2 is creation. So if we got it that way and we bring it down to 12, then 8 and 6 is 14. That means add them up to 2 digits. 8 and 6 is 14, 2014. Number 39 of time, which was VQV, is 39. The 3 worlds of 13, 2013. We're in the half October. October. Why? Because when you're on the hash marks, you're at the 5. But when you get to the 10, it's a first down. So next year, you get to the 10 yards, you got 1 with 0, you got a new circle and a football in your hand. And you made 10 yards. So you're not half and half anymore. Now you're whole. And you're still moving on. So that's why it's the 10th month. And not only that, you can't be on the hash marks because everybody knows on the hash marks, there's a hole. Wherever there's a 5, there's a hole. Wherever there's a 10, you're on the corner. Where the eyes are, all the eyes are on the corners, right? All the runners are on the corners. So you don't want to go on the 5. So you go on the 4, you go on the 6. If you go on the 4, it's October 4th next year, and we have Yom Kippur on the same day, or Rosh Hashanah. And the 4th is an unlucky one of the days, because the Maya, in their month of May, on the 4th day, it's the 124th day, and the cat's in the house, and the cats will play. The cat's in the house, and the mouse will play. The 25th, but the 26th, because I'm supposed to calculate it all leap year numbers, so it'd be the 126th day. Okay, on that day, we'd be in the doghouse. So if I'm in the doghouse on that day here, it would be unlucky here, because if I'm not in the doghouse there, I'd be okay. So the best day is on the 127th day. And how did it all start in piano? When 1 and 2 went to 7 and made 1 and 7 and made 2 and 7, which created 3 and 7, which became 10, and 7 times 3 is 21, which equals to 31, and you're 13, man of bar mitzvah, equals 44 in the period of time we are in right now. I'm going to leave this go for a minute. I'm going to come back with some other stuff and finish with that piano. I want to share and share alike. I need hands. I need people to slow me down. It's not that I need to slow down. I can just slow down. The thing is, there's a lot of information that is not pertinent really to anybody unless you are interested in the story. When you go to a movie, it has nothing to do with my life, but we still sit 2 hours in the theater. Well, I'm running a theater all by myself, and I need people to write, to make photocopies, to draw. I mean, there's certain things I can teach to draw. It's all easy. I learned it all myself in basically a few years, you know. And the Matrix, once they come out and help you, it's retarded, because in the last 2 weeks, I've done more in the last 2 weeks than I've almost done in the last in the last decade almost. I mean, in reality check, where comparison comes in. But I did say something in this video, and I will go back to it before I end it. It had to do with the date. It has to do with the date. Every 15 minutes in one, oh no, not in this scenario, I'm going to do it. Is this it? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to try and do it this way. I'm going to try and do it by memory. We take a day and we take 20 minutes out of each hour. If we took 20 minutes out of each hour, after the 3rd hour, we would have after the, no, in 8 hours, in 24 hours, we take out 20 minutes in an hour. We have taken out 480 minutes, 8 times 6. Coincidental? 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. Mars and Saturn makes man with the cat in the doghouse. You understand what I said? 20 minutes an hour, 24 hours a day. It's 8 hours. So you no longer have 24 hours a day. You now have only 16 hours a day. Now the 16 hours a day that you have, one goes to spirit. So you now have 15 hours a day. Why do you have 15 hours a day? Because the zero, it's only a passage. It turns the clock around, nothing else. So you have 15 hours. So you have to break it up to 5 times 3 equals 15 plus 8 equals 23 hours. All we're going to have in our day if we want it to work out is 23 hours. So we took our 15 hours and we put it at 9 hours awake and 6 hours asleep. We equals to 9 hours awake, and I'm going to have to use it at, what would 9 hours actually be? 9 hours would actually be times 60 minutes is 540. 540 minutes. Sleeping, it would be 6 hours at 6 hours in a day. It'd be 360. So your day consists of 900 minutes, which is not 24 hours. All you're running is 15 hours a day. Now, if you go 6 days, if you go 9 days like this, 15 hours, you now cover 135 hours. If the other part of the sleep is 6 hours, and you go for 9 days, that's 54 hours. The total is 189. 1 and 7 and 2 and 7 equal to the both 1, 2, and 9. 3 becomes in 1, and now 9 surrounds it. You follow me? The answer comes back. The answer comes back to this: 6 and 9. You lose 9 hours a day. For 9 days is 81 hours. Plus you lose, I'm trying to figure what this is, 9 hours, 15 times 6 equals 90. 15 times 6 equals 90. 3 times 15 equal 135 equals ace. So now we have the ace. 45, 45, 45. 3/4 of a day would be lost. Now I don't have the exact figures, but I'm going to tell you how it works out anyways. This is how it goes. You have 8 hours that you lose a day. You have 16 hours in a day. And this is what happens. 16 hours, 16 hours in a day, you have 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days. 6 days, you have 16 hours a day, equals 96 hours. Then you have 1 day, and then you have 3 days. I'm a little lost with this. I did it was so perfect. I did so many things that was so perfect. You see, 60 minutes is actually 120 minutes, 150 minutes, because it's split up. If each one counts their time, they count their time, they count their whole time, but the middle counts its own time. Even though you've counted both sides, you went onto this side and got his moon, they went onto your side, got your moon, plus the eye in the sky got their moon. Okay? Now there's a thing about we lose 15 minutes every hour, or we lose 20 minutes. 10 minutes on the left, 10 minutes on the right. How much is left? 40 minutes. 40 minutes, 40 in Monopoly. I'm going to end it now. There's too many things. I'm starting to fall apart. Or do I end it now? Give me a second. Let me get a drink. Okay. There's so many things. I did the soldier field day. It says soul DAILEY. It says the only cube you have is the R cube. And that's because R comes with a 7, a 0, and a 6. See the letter R? It's a 7, and it's a 0. And inside the 0, you get a dot. So the dot means you got a 5 in the center. So you got a dot with a 5 in the center, and because you're going in, you get 6. Now you become the spirit of 76. So I want to write this down. I don't write everything down. I'm falling behind. Road runner. The R is 18th letter. Okay. I'm going to try to get back to something that might be interesting because there is some real good stuff I have. The R is the 18th letter. It creates the 7 and the 0. Inside the 0 is a dot that you can put your hand for the hands of time. And you put your finger up inside the R, and it's the key. Why is it the key, the R? Because it is the bridge, it is the wings, it is the angel fish of all. You can't do anything without the R. This is the R. She cuts in her own. This is her first leg. Let me draw this. This is interesting for me. I like when I find things all the time, but I'm sort of in a rush and a little nervous, you know. I always want to make something good because it's a hard deal, you know. I mean maybe it's easy for some of you to understand, but for me it's not that easy to do, you know. I'm trying my best. Sometimes it's fantastic. My biggest enemy since I began is to just slow down the information. You need to keep it at bay with the door. You need to create more portals of memory to be able to put things together, and then you must associate them in your libraries because you need to classify them, or everything is like, what am I doing next? What am I doing? Am I doing time? You want to talk about rabbits and dinosaurs? Um, where do we get a lot of the sites? You want to know where we get a lot of sites from? When they take the satellites and they shove it into a river, right? Or under the earth. They take a satellite and they go into the rivers and oceans. All those pictures you see, they tell you they come from planet Mars, the Mercury, here and there. No, it's underneath our own land. The floor of the ocean has names. Has anybody ever looked up the names of the floors of the oceans all over the world in places we didn't even think? They have a name, and I bet you one of them says Mercury. And if they don't call it Mercury, you know what they say? Hey, let's make a mine. We'll go for Mercury. Let's get a gold mine. Let's get a silver mine. It's all over the place, but we don't notice it. So what happens right now? And whoop, I have to outline it. I have to outline it because you know what? It looks so good. It looks so good that if I don't outline it, then I'm not going to feel good. Are you still with me? You know, when you play 18 holes, it's sort of like a good thing, right? Hey, we're playing 18 holes today. All right. Feel like a race to me. Oh, do you want to watch? Uh, that's about it. Did you see it? Okay, we're gonna go on to something else, right? Nah. I wish I did it on a full paper. I've never done this before. See the way this comes out? 1V, 1V, or what does it say? What does it say? LV, L1, LV, L1, 4, 5, 6. Do you know what this is? I have to make it bigger now. This is the letter R. This is only the letter R. The only thing I did is when you're building, I put this over here because the two sticks were alone. So I had to put a brace in with them. And I could have probably put a brace on the way up if I wanted to. I'm not sure if I was allowed. I'm going to try it and see what it does. Here's a brace and here's a brace. So here's a brace and here's a brace. And here's a brace. 1, 2, 3. And here's a brace. And now we have the letter R. Look at it. Does it make a face? Let me see if we can make a face on it. I don't know. My pens all of a sudden don't want to work. They just... And now I'm going to explain this. Okay? Can you see what it is? Okay, I didn't do it exactly right. But this is the R letter. Here's one eye. Here's the other eye. He sees back to back and face to face. This back and this back are actually touching each other because they're in a triangle. So this back and this back touch. Them two are back to back. The backs touch and they see the front. At the same time, it creates Donald Duck. I'm going to do this a lot better. Then this is all I did is followed the lines. If you want, I can start all over, but I'm not. I'm going to do it in another video. I wanted to explain time like this, okay? 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. 6 days, 16 hours, 96 hours. 3 days, 8 hours of sleep. 6 days, 8 hours of sleep, and 6 and 3 days of 16 hours awake. That makes up the day. It makes up 216 hours, but we lose 8 hours a day every single day. So by the time you get to the end of the week, excuse me, at the end of the 10 days, at the end of the 10 days, you are left with 16 hours a day. By 9 is 90, 144 hours. That's it. That's all the hours you have. 10 days, you end up with time lost because of the cross and for communication network, which was 10 hours for the 10 God and 14. And that's why you get old in life, because you're paying for this, because God gave you one spirit, right? But if you come into the game and got to use up his equipment, you need the cross on your back for the communication. And you need to take in with you a saddlebag, which has the talus around your throat, around your neck, so you lose 24 hours. So all you get is 144 hours every 10 days. 144 for 10 days. Times 25 is 250 days. And you get, let's just 12 by 12. How would you do this? 25 times 144. 20, 22, 7, 8, 8, 9, 0, 0, 15, 10,500 hours. What am I losing here? How many days did I lose of the whole thing? Oh, okay. 144 hours equals 10 days. But it doesn't equal 10 days. It equals 6 days. 6 times 24. So in 10 days, 4 are lost. So in 6 days, 4 are lost. In 60, 40 are lost. In 120, 80 are lost. In 180, 120 are lost. In 210, 100 is lost. In 180, 60 days, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. In 160 days, 60 days, 60 days. And they see, I said it so long that I made myself mixed up. 60 days is 40 days. So 180 days, you have 80 against you. That would be 260. And you go 240, and this one would give you 120. Oh my God, it works out perfect. Oh my God. Look at this. Because you only get 6 days. Because of this, you lose. It says sleep. That means you don't have it, so you deduct it. Then you deducted the 1 day for the spirit angle, okay? And the spirit angle, once you use it, it could be renewed again, okay? Not true. Once you have gained something from this system, once you're sold, you can take it back with you. It cost you, so it cost you your life. And that's why you got old, because you're taking home your story to work your memory with the matrix that maybe is not owned by God, or maybe it is owned by God, but he wants every man to pay the price. And it's how you think that will end up be the binding thing at the end of life when the question comes, how did you do? So we get 240 days. 240. We were supposed to get 216 hours. 216, hold on a second. 216 days. Instead of, so you're doing over here, you were at 120 days. Hold on a second. 120 days. There was 24 hours missing. So if I take the 24 hours and I give it to the if you take 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days equals in this fashion 216 hours, okay? And it's 6 days, 1 day, and 3 days is the way they do it. NFL and football scoring 6, 1, and 3, and you have 6, 1, and 2 because now you can get it with 2. 2 and 1 is 3. You couldn't use the 2 before because you were here. The 2 and 6 makes your 8 heaven for wherever you go. Whatever ball you hang on to makes your 8. You take your 7th gate, which is your X, your story. How do you write a story? What do you bring home with you? Hash marks? You bring home your story inside a cube. DD is 44 in between the lines. How you did, running all the way around the field, but never getting anywhere in all reality because you're dead. So what's the difference? So this is what happens to you. You bring home your story. This is your story, one half of the 2 you worlds. You were in this world, and now you're Jack coming home. But there's more to it than that. Anyways, what we're doing over here, 216 in hours or 216 days and 144 days. This is 12 times 12. The 2 cubes go to the death. The 216 come to the life. The total is 360. 2, 1, and 6. 6, 7, 6, 2, 8. 7 and 8. 007. Why 007? Because when you put 2 007s on top of each other with 7, it creates the gate of 8 inside 7, and it's still only 7 that created it. But now you're on the other side. It's this side or that side. Take a choice. So now you have over here the 216, which is 4 corners, the 4 corners of your talus, which is exactly 16 times 4 is 64. 64 times 4 equals 256. 4, 4 plus 4, 8, 12, 16 plus 16 equals 272. That's how we started the piano. 1 and 7, 2 and 7. Now I'm going to take it 4, 4, 4, which equals to 12, which equals to 64, and that was the game we were in. This came out to 76. Now we're going to go to the 3 world. Oh, we don't have to go to the 3 world because it's the 3 and the 2 inside. We brought home, you see, you know that the dice that have 2 empty corners? Okay, you bring home a story, and you have your story that is the equivalent to your life between your hands. You see, do you have a U? Do you have a V? Of course you have a W for life. You become number 23 creation, 1111 spirit, angel, and man, because you have to follow the arms around, over your shoulders and over your head, under the rail, hey, down, bring them down, over the shoulders, over the moon. Fred Flintstone coming east so soon. I just know Barney too. He's coming in for the Jetsons through. We play all the TV songs, eh? So what happens to this now is time. This is the 4. Now the question is, do you come back in only one of these 4? Do you come back over here? Do you come back over here? Or do I take all of this with me? 6, 1, and 2. I come back as 9 because 90 equals to the pregnancy. 90 is the days between Valentine's and November 16th this year. That's what the 90 days are in between. The other 273 are 39 weeks. It's 39 weeks, 39 weeks, it's 13, 13, 13, and the amount of time between Valentine's Day, November 16th, and Valentine's Day, the 45th day of the year, which is on the 14th, 45, 45, which is 9 times 5, E-I-E-I-O, the whole system of this. So this says man came in here with what? With his talus, this 3. So man has to go home with 3 and his story. He came in with God and no story at all as the white-faced ghost. 9/11, white-faced mountain. And he comes home with 54 and 54. So take away this, man is 108. 108. And here's a line, a lifeline down here, 109. And here's the lifeline, 110. Man is now the story of the twin towers of life, of the antenna that they put up on the roof. That was thievery of the information throughout the network within a radius of 5 miles minimum. It didn't matter what went down, they knew about it. Now, there's other things that I really came up with. that are even better than I even explained. I took a lot of time for this. There's still a lot of stuff. I mean, if we were sitting down together, you'll just say, okay, Ronnie, shh, okay, one thing at a time, one thing at a time. Okay, so, and then I'll say, listen, okay, I'm going, and I have to go. And then when I start to go, you got to let me go, because when you let a horse go, you let him go. If you don't let the horse go properly, he starts to jump and gallop all over the track. The horse breaks, and everybody's saying, "Hey, the driver made a mistake, or the horse was a little antsy." You have to really understand these animals. Raphael 7286. I think that's it for now. And there is a lot of stuff. Oh my God, this what I did today. I just like to do it right over again. I still didn't do the piano. I didn't do pi. I didn't do any of the talisman. I didn't start on the original 6 hockey teams, and I didn't go on to electric company and waterworks, which is G&E, 7 and 5. We didn't talk about Bell, which is underneath the ground, and now it must be in the air. We have cats in the sewers or rats in the sewers. Does that mean somebody's breaking into the Bell lines right now? Is there something out there? Because I always thought Bell was like one of the best. Because Bell for me is the best because they only got 7 numbers to go get them, and you have 7 numbers because that's all you needed. You went 1 plus 7 equals 8, and 2 plus 7 equals 9, and there's no more than 9. In a circle, it's 5. 1 here, 5 here, 2, 3, 4 in between is 9, and 2, 3, 4 is 9, plus the whole thing of 5 is 9, and 9 is 18, plus on the inside is 19, 20, 21. 21 on one side of the circle, if you make one line, it's 42. A circle, if you make an X in it 2 lines, and if you make a mug and dub it, it becomes 36, 3 lines, and this becomes your Mayan Indian. Put a little head on him, and he becomes one of the Mayan, or one of these little things. You know all those little beetles you see in all those movies from back in the whatever? That's because this is how you're building. Each line means something. Then when you put the last line, it looks normal. It looks like a little spider. Sat down beside her, and look what you get. It's 3 dice cubes. And then you start calculating all the money. 1 and 7, 2 and 7. Then you got to go 3 and 6. 1 cannot go with 8. You know why 1 can't go with 8? Because how do you make 11? He'd have 9. 1 goes with 8 afterwards. It has to get onto that side. 1 goes all the way to 9. 1 goes all the way to 8. Your 2 hands, they're separated. Unless you bring the wings together, you can't get onto the other side. You have here. You have this one here. You have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're allowed to put them together. You put 10 with 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now you have the egg. You see what it looks like, that diamond? It's a candle diamond. Oh, so let me see where else I am. Did you understand this? If you want to take a picture and write it down, this is only the letter R in square. Look, here's the R. And he's got a gate in between them. And here's the R. But in between, he's got his legs spread. What this is the energy coming through your ass, through your nose, through your mouth, right up. I don't know if it's God's energy or if it's the matrix. I think it's the matrix energy, the chromosomes that fly around in the air. You never see them? And I told you, the only thing they did in this planet is there were 3 suits. Okay, there's only 288 days. They added on another 72 days because they had to make up for the 8 hours a day that they were stealing away from you. So they made up for that. Otherwise, 72 degrees times 5 brings you to the center. Why 5? Because 5 parts in a circle broken up is 20, 20%, 10 and 10. 10, you need 10, you need 10, you need, each corner is 10. You don't want to do 20, you miss one corner and you jump 2 trains. And who wants to jump 2 trains? Because anytime you jump 2 trains, they're going to have somebody coming after you. So it's all about expressions, watching movies. Oh, look what they said in that movie. I know what they were doing in creation. Raphael 7286. The constellation of Pegasus. I just hope I can, all these little things, I hope you can ask me these questions. And I did my best. Well, actually, I didn't do my best because my best was not to do it at all and to go a lot slower. I'm not happy when I'm rushy. They say the people of my kind, they sometimes seem to go too fast. But at least I'm exalting myself. I must express myself and let everything out. Otherwise, it's jammed in me. And there's still stuff in me. But you know what I'm going to do? I have still stuffing in me because I'm creation. XXX. I'm a goddamn turkey. There's still stuffing in me. That's what I said. That's how it works. Wow. That's crazy, eh? I still have information in the head that wants to, I mean, I don't want to ask it because I have a small memory bank, right? You take that memory bank and you say, okay, I want to remember this, 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 and this. And then all of a sudden, and that. And then by the time you start remembering that, you go, oh, you start thinking of this. And then you write something about that. And you're thinking of this and that, and this and that. And oh my God, you got the cat in the hat thing into this and that. Maybe it could be a mouse, but it definitely was some kind of a rat snarling around this and that. It ands or buts. What does it actually say in Matrix? Probably something I'm going to learn and help you understand to learn yourself. If you wish to go down onto the road, then my wish to know, and if your wish is to know, and if you think I can bring you into that realm, then I'm going to try. And if you don't think, obviously, then you will be shutting me down anyways. Thank you very much. Raphael 7286. Did you remember how I did the time thing? I want to do the time thing one more time. I went, got to tie it up. Got to tie it up. The train went this way. 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 We now, I'm not sure which way it comes now, so we have the train went this way, and the train went this way, and the train went this way, and the train went this way. Now what we got to do is introduce the 7. Now if we introduce the 7, and we introduce the other 7 in one world. Now we introduce the 7, and we introduce the 7 in the other world. So now you have to see our 8. Our 8. Each one is worth 500. It's 3,500. 3,500 is 7,000, and it's a quarter because there's only 2. Makes 7,250. 1 second, I messed it up. I don't know how I did that. Well, you've been here a while anyways. I know. I might have to just redo this, and it may not work. See the way you split up some animals? You see the animals? See the hippopotamus? It's not me who did that. It was because when you take the circles and you have to put them in certain areas, when you see the diagonal line, you have to put it there. You get 2 birds on top. You get a hippopotamus who's spurting out something on the bottom. And then you have the guy with his eyes. Some kind of animal. I don't know what it is. But this, you ever see this? You ever see these? Yeah, there's something missing. Oh, here, now, is this it? Yeah, there was that 7,200 thing I wanted to find. Just give me a second. I know, you're back into the video. Okay, so I didn't do right. Wow, I have to find, and there's so much more that I missed. Walk around. I'll call you when it's ready. I'll call you when it's ready. Oh my God. Royal, Mount Royal, Montreal. Mount Royal, Montreal. Mount Royal, Montreal. I have this one here, and I have this one here. Oh, here it is. I make 2 7s inside the circle. 7 and 7. 7th gate of each world. It makes an X that's worth 10,000. It's worth 10,000 in both worlds. That's 20,000. Each one is worth 250. The balls, right? 15 by 15, right? So every ball, now that you have, excuse me, 20,000, now you need 5,625. So 5,000, how would they count it? Here? Anyways, I don't know why I did that with you. Just remember, here's your 10,000. One ball is 5,000, the other ball is 5,000. 5,000 plus the center of this ball. You have three parts of this ball. One, two, and you're going to have the X in the center, like the Mug and David. So you'd have three. 3 times 225 is 5,775, and the world starts over again. Raphael, that's it. I'm going to redo this video.